Yeah, plenty of experience in IT, but
So have any like basic idea of what is cloud computing, SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS?
yeah, we have a basic idea about cloud
Or do you
computing,
want me
but
to like refresh that and go ahead with things?
yeah, then it will be better actually. I mean,
Fine.
it's nothing wrong with me in
Yeah.
refreshing an idea. Yeah, we should not assume something and that should not mean
Yeah, yeah.
something. Yeah.
Just to be on the same page, because next time whenever we use the word, like it should convey the same message in either ways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he has joined.
Yeah,
Madhav?
mute.
Yeah, hi Madhav, Harish here.
He's in mute. He's trying to set the things.
He's in mute. Yeah, he's saying he's in mute.
Yeah, he can only do it on the top itself.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Madhav, can you hear me? Okay. I'm sorry for the late
No,
adjustment
no.
from our side, yes.
I'm here.
From tomorrow it will be on time. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, because first session, right, we need to configure
yeah,
the cloud.
configuring it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Madhav.
Hey, good morning. Sorry, actually,
No,
my go-to-meeting is not working.
So
So I
today we have our presenter as Harish, and he is our trainer from Hyderabad.
okay,
So you just guys introduce yourself to Mr. Harish.
sure. Hi, Harish. How are you?
Yeah, hi Madhav, I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Actually, sorry. I mean, my
No issues,
go-to-meeting was
absolutely no issues.
not there. So
We in fact thought to start it at 5, but intentionally we kept it at 4:30 because the first 10-15 minutes it takes us to configure and get all the settings done.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So shall we go ahead with the things?
Yeah.
Let's
Please
start.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone can
So, like,
unmute whenever
please.
wanted. Just unmute yourself and talk.
Okay.
So I'll be starting the session. In case of any doubts, please do interrupt me. There's absolutely no issues in that. And let us be in a simple thing like, though we know several things in IT, let us put ourselves as zero and let us try to take the inputs from it.
So 1 minute, Harish. Actually, I might not be also available, but I am running the session for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got a exam now, driving test now.
Fine.
Yeah, I will be listening to this, but I might be not concentrating on this for today.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, I already listened this. I already gone through all this right once.
Okay.
Okay, you guys continue. Okay.
So let us start with the basic domain of ours, which is the cloud computing domain. So in IT generally we do have like 3 types of players, or three categories of people existing in IT, or wherever in the outside world we see the computer systems and all the IT being used. So one place where we see computers being used is like we go to a mall, we go to a reservation counter, we go to various areas like colleges, institutions, we go to all these areas and we see computers being used there. So all these people, like, we consider them as clients. So they could be like the shopping malls, it could be the reservation counter guys, this could be the insurance people, this could be the banking people, training institutions, all these areas. I mean, we do see people making use of IT. So all these we generally put them as clients, and our basic assumption here for a client is their core business is not IT. They are into some other aspects, but to improve the efficiency of that business, these people are using IT. So it would be banks, shopping malls, or all these basic examples of day-to-day life where we see the computer systems. I mean, these are the people who have their core business into something else, but to have a better performance in their business, they are using IT. So all these we put them under clients. And we can take the second category of players, which we call them as the development companies. These are other areas where we see all the IT people involved there. But these people, in fact, develop some products, and these products will be used by the clients. So the clients are people who require software, and development companies are the people who actually build the softwares and sell them. But in between these clients and development companies, we have the third player, which we call it as a vendor. These are the people who actually offer everything to the development company as well as the clients. So these people actually offer the hardware, these people actually offer the operating system, these people actually offer the platform. Using all these, a development company builds a product and gives it to the client. Client will again have hardware, operating system, platforms in their domains, and again they run these products in their environments. So these are the three categories which we generally see them. Now the aspect here is the vendors are the most visionary people. The vendors are the most visionary people who foresee the market and drive the IT industry. And because they being the most visionary people, I mean the visionary always gets the max profit. And whoever utilizes the services pays them. So the game goes this way. Clients pay the development companies, clients pay the vendors, development company do pay the vendors. So vendor gets their profits from developers as well as the clients. So this is a traditional market which actually works. Every client has their own installation, every development company has their own installations. The vendors sell their products to developers as well as clients, and they mint the money. But the way the IT industry is driven and the way the profits these IT vendors are getting, when they compare it with the other technologies which were evolving, like if we take mobile technologies, I mean everyone uses mobile. Every simple person in the world, almost everyone has a mobile, but everyone doesn't use IT in their day-to-day life. So these are only some companies who are actually working with it, but day-to-day people in their everyday life are not actually making use of IT. So these visionary people do plenty of researches. So one thing what they could identify is there is a bit of complexity involved in IT, that is pertaining to the installations, pertaining to the maintenance, and pertaining to the upgradations. These were certain things which were restricting a very common person to use the strength of IT. Whereas when it comes to mobiles, and on the other hand you take a refrigerator, a television, I mean every house acquires them, every person uses it, but equivalently they are not using IT. So the main issues which they considered were these installations, maintenances, as well as the upgradations. This was something pushing people behind. So what the vendors felt was, let us take care, I mean the clients still remain in the market, the vendors are still existing in the market, and the development companies are still existing in the market. What they have refined was, the vendors will now have the hardware, the vendors will now have the operating systems, the vendors will now have the platforms. Everything will be installed, maintained, and upgraded at the vendor side. development companies will get connected to these. The clients also will get connected to them. Everyone gets connected to the vendor and they start using the vendor. So everything is available with the vendor. But how do they get connected to these vendors? Clients and vendors get connected over internet. Even the development company gets connected over internet. Over internet, they get connected to the vendor. Everything is existing with the vendors, clients and development companies. They just have some basic devices which enable them to get connected to the internet. That's it. That is the infrastructure which a client and development company is going to maintain. A device which can get connected over the internet. It could be a mobile, it could be an iPad, it could be a tab, it could be a desktop, it could be a laptop, but some device whose capability is to get connected over the internet to the vendor, but not to carry the weight of hardware, OS and platforms. So very basic, very cheap devices are in fact capable of doing all these things. So now the responsibility of installation, maintenance and upgradation, everything is shifted to the vendors. And this way of using the IT is considered as cloud computing. This approach what we are using is actually called as cloud computing. So this is the basic idea behind cloud computing, where everything will be existing on the vendor side, development companies and clients get connected to the vendors and it works. In the earlier enterprise world, enterprise tradition, I mean clients and development companies buy the licenses from the vendor and the vendor generates the revenue. Now in this case, how is the vendor going to generate the revenue? The vendor gives deal like pay per use, and this is all going to be plug and play, or on the other way we call it as on-demand IT services. On-demand IT services. So all the clients and developers will pay per their use. Like if I purchase a basic laptop, I recommend a hard disk of 1 TB, and the vendor who is selling it to me, charges as per 1 TB. But today when I actually purchase it, I might not be using 1 TB of space. I might be using only 200 GB or 300 GB, but I'm actually paying for 1 TB of storage space. When it comes to cloud computing, it is pay per use. If I am using 200 GB, then I pay only for the 200 GB. I don't pay it for 1 TB. And whenever I require to expand it, I pay when I require it. I don't pay it in advance. So this feature, we call it as elasticity. So we can expand our resources when it is required, and we can shrink our resources when they are required, and we only pay per use. So this is the basic fundamental advantage of cloud computing. So the vendors get more and more people who actually use the IT services now, because it's very cheap. More and more people want to use it, and it starts working. And this concept is the basic advantage of cloud computing what we have. And moreover, the developers and client companies are now free from the burden of installations, maintenance and upgradations. So that gives them more advantages. So this is our basic idea of cloud computing. And the vendor offers hardware, the vendor offers operating systems, the vendor will offer some development environment where we can build some applications. The vendors can offer some databases. The vendors also offer some applications like a billing application or any kind of basic applications. So the vendors generally offer three things: either hardware, operating systems, development environments, databases, or they might provide me applications like calendars, inboxes, various kind of applications. When a vendor offers hardware to the clients and development companies, or when a development company uses the vendor's hardware, the client uses the hardware of the vendor, then the service is named as IaaS, infrastructure as a service. When the vendor offers databases, development environments, operating systems, and the client and development companies consume it, then we call it as PaaS or PaaS, which is known as platform as a service. And when we are offered with some basic applications, then it becomes software as a service or application as a service. These are the primary models in cloud computing: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. All these three are offered by the vendor. But it is not a rule that every vendor needs to offer all the three IT services. It depends from vendor to vendor. Like if you consider the Indian market, we have Idea as a mobile vendor. We have Airtel, we have Reliance. Tata offers landline phones, Tata offers internet connections, Tata offers mobile services, and Tata also offers entertainment direct to home services. But when you take Idea, Idea does not offer landlines, Idea does not offer entertainment direct to home services. But Idea offers internet services, Idea offers mobile services. So it's up to the vendor what services they in fact want to offer. So there are various vendors who offer these services. I just have a summary of all these vendors, basic summary. Like in cloud computing, like when we go to infrastructure as a service, like we see all these companies involved in it: Amazon, CloudStack, Ecliptus, GlowGrid, Luna Cloud, Google Storage, Green Cloud, Green Button. I mean, there are hundreds of vendors. We have just listed few of the most important people there. On the other side, we have people who run software as a services also, like Google Apps, OwnCloud, Microsoft Online, Salesforce. All these are application as a services. And there are vendors who offer platform as a service. So Amazon App Engine belongs to Google, in fact. So AppScale, Windows, Azure, EngineYard, Force.com, Heroku. These are certain things which we will be discussing in more detail. OrangeSpace, this is in fact a Chennai-based company, OrangeScale. RightScale, Cloud Foundry, there's also called Cloud Factory. We have Mendix, OpenShift. So there are various platform providers, various application as a service providers, and there are various infrastructure as a service providers. So we do have various vendors in the market, but to list the topmost people in these in this industry of cloud, we have Amazon, Google, and Salesforce.com. These are some of the leading vendors, and these people provide all the three services: infrastructure, platform, and SaaS. So these are the three big giants there, and all of us make use of emails. Email is in fact software as a service or application as a service. Everything is installed at the vendor space. I have a device, I get connected to the app, and I start using it. And all the things which we have in our Google apps, all Google apps are software as a service. They're all existing on the vendor side. Clients use a device, and whoever uses it, end users, they just have devices. Through internet, we start using all their services. So this is the basic, like what is cloud computing, what is offered in cloud computing, and why are these IT clients and development companies actually heading towards this cloud computing. So cloud computing is not something new. It has been there right from the time when we have started using emails. Email is in fact software as a service. But along with software as a service, now the vendors are also offering platform and infrastructure as services. So this is our basic idea or basic input towards cloud computing.
Hi Harish.
Yeah.
Shanmugha here. Actually, how they are maintaining the security? I mean, it's outside the control of the client, right? So
End user, right?
yeah, I mean, not end user. I mean,
How the security is in fact maintained.
Yeah, I mean, it.
Yeah. So everything works over internet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we all make use of banking, right?
Yes, banking, yeah.
Banking system. Who owns the bank basically?
Uh, yeah, I mean, end client uses
Yeah.
the
So
bank.
there are these banking sectors who actually maintain these banks,
Yeah.
right? Assume I am working for a company called Accenture, and Accenture needs to pay me salary every month. I mean, where does my salary get deposited?
To my bank, yeah.
In a bank.
Yes.
What is the security now? So we do have two types of banks now. Because you are from India, we should be clearly knowing. There have been plenty of banks which have been shut down. They have given loans, they have taken deposits, and they have shut down. And there are banks which are running successfully. And the bank can be accessed over internet.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in what way the bank is providing security? I mean, the same concept applies when it comes to cloud computing. Cloud computing, I mean, these are again a group of people, vendors who are offering services. There could be good vendors, there could be bad vendors. There could be a vendor who gives a very high level of security. There could be a vendor who might not offer any kind of security. But if a bank has to exist in the market, I mean, they need to build their trust, stating all their deposits are secured. Same way, even a vendor, if they give the security and if they can prove like their security is the best, no hackers can hack their data, they win the trust and the clients deposit their data and applications with them. So it is individual responsibility of a vendor to provide the security, and every vendor has their own approaches to enhance that security. But we never say it's 100% achieved. It is always a challenging aspect like a virus and an antivirus. Threats are always there in the areas of security, but the vendors are capable enough of facing those challenges. And they ensure their clients, like they provide 100% security to their data and apps. Same as banking. Shanmugh, like is the point clear?
Yeah, yes, please go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So this is correlate, like we can correlate it with banking so that we can understand it. So every bank needs to take care of their security. Every vendor has to focus on their security, and these are all like big giants. And they are masters in the areas of security. They have designed various approaches in that. And providing that security or implementing that security actually goes into infrastructure as a service. How they build their infrastructure as a service. The system in which it is built actually provides that security, and down the line in the course we will be looking into various security aspects which Salesforce offers. The features are built by Salesforce and we configure them as per our requirements. So as a tool itself, there are so many security tools which will make sure that our data is not misused or not accessed by wrong users apart from the organization employees. There are tools which we would be definitely seeing. So,
And Harish,
am I clear, Shinmu?
there is one question actually. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, Harish, are you able to hear me?
It's not audible in fact. Now I'm able to listen, but earlier I couldn't hear.
Oh, okay. So like, what are the main sectors, like for example, what are the different verticals right now they are implementing Salesforce?
What are the?
Different verticals, like, manufacturing, or do you have some kind of data like manufacturing industries are using, or predominantly which kind of verticals are using the Salesforce?
So which domains are there in Salesforce like?
Because my question is because, see, like for example, the big companies already might have the clients I'm talking about, they already might have their own infrastructure, right? So
Fine.
now Salesforce is providing the infrastructure. So, but
Fine.
what happened to the existing, whatever the clients having the existing infrastructure? So, like.
Yeah, like let us take that existing infrastructure. I mean, how often does a company change its infrastructure? How stable is the market in terms of infrastructure? I mean, we might have purchased laptops a couple of years ago, which certainly looks outdated at this point of time. So again we change our infrastructure, again we change our things and again we start working. So infrastructure is something which is always and constantly changing. So today they might say like, I do have the required infrastructure. How about 2 years down the line? Again there is an expansion required, and every expansion goes into investment. That is where they cross verify. What if I go to a cloud vendor and choose their infrastructure as a service? Down the line, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, what is that is in fact benefiting me? Is it having an infrastructure within my enterprise or choosing an infrastructure offered by a vendor? Which one would give me more benefits and which one is more secure? And whenever the vendor who's offering infrastructure as a service will definitely put forward their internal aspects of security also to the clients, like in what way their data gets secured. And then it's up to the company to decide whether they would go with infrastructure within their own enterprise, and if it's certainly beneficial, they go with the vendors. All maximum companies are in fact now moving towards cloud. And we never say there is no threat, but threat is always there, but it's always taken up as a challenge, and they're meeting all those threats. Maximum all issues have been fixed.
And Salesforce is particularly, I'm brand new to Salesforce, so Salesforce is particularly related to CRM, right? So they're not offering any other enterprise.
Yeah. So I'll come to that. So we're not yet into Salesforce, right? So we just stopped at cloud and vendors of cloud. Okay. So once I discuss certain points on Salesforce, definitely what is that CRM, everything becomes clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and last question, like whatever the Salesforce offerings, they're all there on the cloud, right? There's nothing.
Yes. Salesforce is purely cloud-based environment, but they do give support to certain desktop applications. Hello. Yes, Shanmugh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. I am on mute. This is Madhav.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So now
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So let us go ahead with Salesforce.com. What is this vendor and what does it do? So we need, look into different aspects of Salesforce. Salesforce works on like 6 clouds, and it works in like 3 partners. Salesforce has got like 6 clouds and 3 partners. So what are the 6 clouds? So let us look into that aspect. What is actually Salesforce built of? So Salesforce.com is actually built of 6 clouds and 3 partners. This is completely integrated part of Salesforce. So the 6 clouds are Sales Cloud, we have Service Cloud, we have Collaboration Cloud, we have Force.com, Data.com, and we have Database.com. So these are the 6 clouds of Salesforce. The Sales Cloud in fact deals with applications pertaining to sales and applications pertaining to marketing. This is the job of Sales Cloud. When it comes to Service Cloud deals with an app which is called as call center. Collaboration Cloud deals with an app which is called as a chatter. Force.com. Now these are the 3 applications what we have discussed, some basic applications. These are some basic applications. Sorry. Right? Now when we move to Force.com, Force.com is the actual PaaS which is offered on Salesforce. And Data.com holds data. We'll see like what kind of data. And Database.com is the place where we perform storage as well as processing. So this is the actual part or the inner picture of Salesforce. So the 3 clouds Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Collaboration Cloud are the three clouds which deal with the applications existing. So these three clouds actually form the SaaS. All products of Salesforce are developed on the PaaS of Salesforce, which is Force.com. So Force.com is the actual PaaS. Database.com is where all storage and processing is performed. This is our infrastructure as a service. These are the 6 clouds which are in fact available. We'll come back to this data.com shortly, but there's a point behind it, so I would like to first cover the point. So we'll just come back to data.com a bit later. So now let us focus on SaaS. Do you use like Windows operating system? Hello?
Yes, sir, yes, Harish, we do use, yes.
Fine. I mean, what are the apps which come with Windows operating system? We do have browsers, we have some media players.
Word, yes, MS
Yeah,
Office.
yeah. Word, Notepad, some basic editors and all,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yes.
Same way, when we go to Salesforce.com vendor, the Salesforce.com vendor gives an application in their environment, and that application is a CRM. So Salesforce.com, all the 6 clouds, everything put together, when we get registered with Salesforce vendor, the Salesforce vendor offers a CRM. And this CRM, in fact, is something like a cloth piece. I go to a Raymond showroom, I go to a Dick Jam showroom, I buy a suit piece. I mean, whom does this suit piece fit into now? What do I do with this suit piece? What do I do with this cloth piece? I mean, again, I need to go to a tailor. This tailor would take my measurements and then stitch this piece and convert it into a usable format which I can use it. So the Salesforce CRM, which is offered by Salesforce, in fact does not match the business requirements of any client. It is like a cloth piece. The development companies on the PaaS of Salesforce would alter this CRM as per the requirements of the business. And this CRM now is actually used by the client. It could be McDonald's, it could be Reebok, it could be Airtel, it could be a bank, it could be a hospital, it could be any business which actually makes use of a CRM. So is my point clear? Like Salesforce CRM is an application which is offered by Salesforce as a SaaS. This SaaS does not have any business fulfillment conditions or business fulfillment components. These components have to be configured, created, designed by the developers on the PaaS of Salesforce, which is called Force.com. So if we can view on a website, if you can look into the website called Force.com. Speed, mobile, trust, this is how it goes. Force.com, and we just look into the slides here. Application development with say Force.com. There is nothing written as Salesforce.com, but when we move on top, I mean, we do have a logo here. Salesforce, Force.com. When we come down and again look back into that, Salesforce.com is an extremely powerful, scalable and secure cloud platform delivering a completely technology stack covering the ground from database and security to workflow and user interface, both the social and mobile apps that deliver innovation to your business. Let us move a couple of slides ahead where we could get a much more detailed aspect of Salesforce business. If you can highlight this, focus on this, I mean, this is our life actually on Salesforce. This basic slide gives the future, our career in Salesforce. The Force.com platform is the fastest path to complex enterprise applications that used to take months and now can be done in days or weeks. Companies and independent software vendors are using Force.com to build applications across the entire spectrum of business functions and industries. These are the domains now: supply chain management, billing, audit, tax calculation, event management, compliance tracking, brand management, prices, accounting, receivables, payables, billing, HR, payment processing, claims processing, and much more. So on Force.com, in fact, there is nothing written as a CRM. Salesforce does not want its clients and development companies exclusively to work on CRM. CRM is one area which they are actually focusing. Apart from that, Salesforce provides support to all these domains. So we are not going to restrict ourselves to a CRM. It's going to be a wide spectrum of applications which can be developed. That also includes a CRM. That doesn't mean we'll be neglecting a CRM, but CRM is not the only domain which we are in fact going to focus. And to be very frank, and the real thing what actually is going to happen in this course is, this course is all about Force.com, the PaaS offered by Salesforce. This course is not about how to use a CRM. I mean, CRM is a SaaS, it's an application. Applications are used by clients, and we do not want a job with a client feeding data into their CRM systems. Our job is to build an application which would be used by clients, and employees of the clients would feed data into these apps, and the apps would run their business. This is our aim, building apps that will drive the business. And the course focuses on all those principles which are required to build applications of on Force.com PaaS, irrespective of domain. Whether it could be a finance domain, a CRM domain, an SCM domain, an ERP domain, a hospital domain, banking domain, irrespective of all these things, we would know how to build apps in Salesforce. So is my second point of the course clear? One is like what is cloud computing and what is Salesforce. So Salesforce is a vendor which deals with 6 clouds: Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Collaboration Cloud, Force.com Cloud, Data.com, and Database.com. And our course focuses on Force.com. This is where development companies are looking jobs for. They want people to work on the PaaS of Salesforce, build the apps, and sell it to the clients. This is one part of the business which Salesforce offers to this world. Yeah. Any queries at this point?
No, this is Madhav. I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for clarifying. Because
like ante manaku actual course endi koncham clear undalandi, because like when we talk to people, baita talk etluntadi ante I am learning Salesforce అని ఉంటుంది. I am learning Salesforce CRM antaru. So Salesforce CRM is in fact not something we are going to learn. Given requirements, we would build a CRM system. We would configure a CRM system. We will not use a CRM. We shall configure a CRM or any other app which is going to work. And the site very clearly says the power of this Force.com. What used to take months can now be done in days or weeks. I mean, that's the power of this platform. Open a website. If I mean that's not a fact, it's reality. I mean, no one can start. No one will trust and start using it. But that's in fact strength of Salesforce. And that is what we are. Yeah, please.
One question. In addition to that, if you can give us some, like I do agree, like we will definitely, whatever you said, we'll concentrate on. But if you can give us some like a domain or functional.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we will pick up apps and we will be working with those apps, no doubt in that. But we are not restricted to that domain and that app itself.
Yeah, that would be great because here the requirements is whatever I'm seeing right on Salesforce, they are asking some functional experience as well, like concepts of CRMs, campaigns, and all those kind of different concepts.
Yeah. So now let us look into the other aspect, same of Salesforce.com, which is appexchange.com. Probably mistyped it. So I mean, if you can open that in your browser as well, appexchange.com. If we move to the end of the page, bottom of the page, these are the apps which are developed at Salesforce on the PaaS of Salesforce. So there are 1822 apps. There are nearly 18,25,000 installations of these apps, and this gives us the domain ID of it. 41% of the apps are sales apps, 8% of the apps are customer service, 22% are IT and administration, 9% marketing, 6% finance, 10% collaboration, and 4% other types of apps. 44% are free, 56% are paid. So there is nothing like exclusively into CRM. Salesforce is not exclusively into CRM. 50% is free CRM, 50% is non-CRM. Now let us focus a bit on that CRM. What is the CRM and what is that we are going to deal with that CRM, and why do these development companies want to use Salesforce CRM? I mean, why not Siebel CRM? Why not Microsoft Dynamics CRM? Why not Sugar CRM? Sugar CRM is also a cloud-based CRM. I mean, why not these? Why Salesforce? What drives them towards Salesforce? If you take our environments of Java, .NET, and all these things, I mean, every business will be having certain business principles and they build some business applications. Whatever is their business, they convert that business into an automated model, and that becomes their business apps. And there is no business on earth which does not require a customer. Now without customer, that business is like of no use. So when we say CRM, it becomes customer relationship management. So first misconception to be removed. CRM is not purely focusing on customer. CRM deals with three things. First phase of CRM deals with marketing. The second wing or the second dimension of CRM deals with sales. And the third part deals with service, support. I mean, that should be the better word than service. We could use something called support. These are the three dimensions or the three wings of a CRM: marketing, sales, support. Now there cannot be a business which does not require marketing. No business runs without sales. Support is, I mean, some companies might support, some companies might not give any support after their sales. I mean, it depends. So now, whatever business app we develop, assume I build an insurance model, an insurance management system, completely working. But does that insurance require marketing? Does the insurance company require sales? How are they doing it? What is happening? So to that business app, we add a CRM. Now a CRM should also run in the company along with their business app. Now there would be multiple applications. I would be having SAP. I would be having Oracle apps for a different purpose. I do have different environments also existing in my company. Now I need to communicate between these applications. So for that purpose, we use something called integration. Now any client requires a business application, requires a CRM, and requires an integration. So one choice what they have is they do have their own IT departments. So the IT department might suggest Java or enterprise Java to build their business apps, and they would support them to go with Siebel CRM. I mean, both belong to Oracle now. So let us move with Siebel CRM. And for integration, again, they use Java Web Services. So now, with this knowledge, they require two IT divisions internally. One department which works with Siebel CRM, another development part which is working on the Java aspect. So now they are actually working with two things. On the other side, someone coming from Microsoft background would say, why not build your business app in .NET? Fine. Why not go with Microsoft Dynamics for your CRM? Fine. And also go with your .NET Web Services, again to work with integrations. Fine, happy. Again, two departments. There is no guarantee that a .NET programmer needs to know Microsoft Dynamics, or a Microsoft Dynamics guy needs to be a good .NET programmer. Again, run two divisions there. When the choice comes to Salesforce, build the apps at force.com, business apps. CRM is also configured at force.com. Integration is also performed at force.com. So my single answer to all these problems is salesforce.com, a single point of contact for all these issues. One single department working with salesforce.com will take care of everything: business application development, CRM development, as well as integration to communicate with social applications, or it could be with other enterprise applications. These days, I mean, social application integrations is catching up most. So they want every business app to communicate with social applications. So for that purpose, again, they move into integration. So everything can be designed and developed at force.com. Yeah, any queries at this point?
I mean, what is the difference between force.com and salesforce.com?
It is something like Microsoft company, Windows operating system. So Microsoft is my vendor. One product offered by Microsoft is Windows. Same way, force.com is name of a company. It's a big vendor which is into cloud computing, and one cloud which they are offering is force.com, and the service offered in this cloud is PaaS, platform as a service. So, I mean, am I clear from my end? I mean, does it fix the issue, or?
No, you're saying force.com is a PaaS, right? It is a platform as a service.
Yeah. And who offers that PaaS? Who is owning this PaaS? It is Salesforce. And what is the name of this PaaS? Force.com. Like Windows is an operating system designed by or built by Microsoft. So instead of using the word OS, now we have the word something called PaaS. Google can offer a PaaS, Microsoft can offer PaaS, Amazon offers PaaS, Salesforce also offers PaaS. PaaS is an IT vocabulary. OS is an IT vocabulary. Microsoft offers an operating system called Windows. Salesforce offers a PaaS which is named as force.com.
Okay, yeah, got you. So actually the confusion is I was thinking a reverse
Please.
way.
Yeah, please let me know. What is it?
Actually the global one, and Salesforce is related to sales, is Salesforce. That's why now it's
No,
clear.
that's what. Salesforce.com is name of a company. I mean, all the logos, if you look into the websites of all these clients and partners of Salesforce, all the clouds of Salesforce, if you look at the top, everything starts with Salesforce. Salesforce App Exchange. When we move on top again here, like it is Salesforce, force.com. So these are all divisions or departments inside Salesforce. Force.com is responsible for certain services. App Exchange is responsible for certain services. Sales Cloud is responsible for certain things. Each one are inside Salesforce, and the big brand on top is Salesforce.com. So never get misleaded by something called sales.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Something like Microsoft, Oracle, Salesforce.com.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a vendor. A vendor having various products built in, but all products are cloud-based services. Infrastructure, PaaS or SaaS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what initially we generally clarify in the first session of every course, because there might be certain misconceptions or certain confusions between the vocabulary. We assume one word to be representing something else. So I mean, we will be clear with this now. So Salesforce.com is a vendor. Force.com is name of a cloud which offers PaaS.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, coming, like we said, 3 partners of Salesforce.com, right? 6 clouds and 3 partners. The 3 partners of Salesforce are DeveloperForce.com, Dreamforce.com, and in fact we have already seen the third partner, which is AppExchange.com. These are like the 3 partners who work with Salesforce, or again internal divisions of Salesforce. Mottam okate brand, inside a brand, like all these wings are existing. What is this Developer Force? I mean, what is done at Force.com? At Force.com we develop applications. So this DeveloperForce.com is a technical guide. It's a technical guide to the developers. It's a technical guide to the developers, which tells them or which exposes them the potential of Force.com. What can be done and how can it be achieved at Force.com. So this one division of Salesforce is DeveloperForce.com, which gives us technical inputs. We can visit that website, DeveloperForce.com. And the next one is Dreamforce.com. I mean, visionary people, dreams expect it to be their future. So this is what they mean, or this is what is meant by Dreamforce.com. The vision of Salesforce. I mean, there might be a client which says, today Salesforce.com might fulfill my business requirements, but tomorrow I'm going to drastically change my business. Then would you support my requirements? So Dreamforce.com will tell them the vision of Salesforce. Down the line, how Salesforce is also going to adapt to the dynamics of every environment. So the vision of Salesforce to fulfill the requirements of clients. So Dreamforce.com is vision of Salesforce to fulfill the needs of clients in the upcoming future. And we have already seen AppExchange, but to add a couple of more words into it, here we buy and sell apps. Apps that are built on Force.com. Clients can buy the apps, development company can sell the apps, applications which are developed on Force.com, and they will run only on the cloud of Salesforce.com. They can't be migrated into other clouds. There are other technologies to in fact do that, but this AppExchange.com buys and sells apps. So we have already seen a bit of AppExchange.com. So these are the 3 partners of Salesforce. So is this aspect clear now? The technical guide, the vision to fulfill, buy and sell apps, development companies sell and the client companies buy. Now let us focus on the backbone business of Salesforce. Why do they use the term CRM so commonly? Why not say Force.com, why not say PaaS, but why is it actually famous, or why is it actually known as Salesforce.com CRM, Salesforce.com CRM? Salesforce.com CRM, the word comes because the moment a client, the moment a development company comes in touch with Salesforce, Salesforce is going to run a CRM for them. Let me quote it with an example. Assume TCS comes to Salesforce. So like we are a development company. I have excellent idea in building apps which can be used by HRs, which will enhance the HR department of a company. So TCS is now going to develop this app. TCS would say we would develop this app in 4 months or 3 months, and the app is ready. Salesforce starts the CRM. What is the first wing of CRM? Marketing. Salesforce starts the marketing. Whom should I market? Where should I market? This is where the cloud we just left out earlier. We discussed about 5 clouds, but we did not discuss about one cloud, which is called data.com. Data.com holds information about all business service providing clients. So it could be a Revlon company, it could be a Reebok company, it could be KFC, anyone who is into business. Like in India, we use something called Just Dial. Or earlier, like we used to use something called Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages will have all people who are into business, who give some business service or the other. I might require a plumber, I might require an electrician, I might have to purchase a projector, I might have to purchase a car, I might have to go to a restaurant. All this information is available in our Yellow Pages and Just Dial. Same way Salesforce maintains something called data.com. If you look into that website, I mean the entire business of Salesforce, why is it known as the #1 PaaS in the world becomes clear. I mean the thing there itself, once you put our cursor there, it clearly says accurate business information and company profiles from leading business data, data.com. It provides large amounts of information about these vendors. Now how is that useful? Now there might be people who require employees who might be dealing with the HR part. Now Salesforce is going to start marketing. Marketing the HR app which TCS has built for all the clients who are registered or whose data is captured in data.com. Once marketing is done, Salesforce does its marketing strategy this way: 15 days trial demo or 30 days trial demo. These clients who are into this business of HR will use this app for 15 days or 30 days. And if they feel it is actually suitable for their business, now comes the next part, which is sales. They buy it from appexchange.com. And then followed by that, Salesforce offers them something called support. The apps can be upgraded, the installation maintenance, the upgradation maintenance, all maintenance in cloud computing is always done by the vendor. So Salesforce runs a CRM. Now all the development companies, their job is to focus on development, but not how to market their products. Their marketing is taken care by Salesforce. Salesforce will get them worldwide clients. And everything definitely will be installed on Salesforce because it is all cloud. Everyone will get connected to Salesforce and start using the applications which are built by the development companies. This makes Force.com the #1 PaaS in the world. So am I clear with the 6 clouds and 3 partners of Salesforce? The backbone business of Salesforce.
Yeah.
We are clear with the vision, right? I mean, what is actually there here? We just want to identify things, like what is happening in Salesforce. Clear?
Yeah. And 6 clouds, can you please once repeat it?
Yeah, 6 clouds.
Can you
Sales
repeat it
Cloud.
once?
Yeah, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Collaboration Cloud, Force.com, Data.com, Database.com.
Okay.
I mean, I've already written that in this document. After this session, I would anyways be forwarding this doc.
Yeah. I think we haven't discussed about database.com, right?
Yeah, I've written a couple of points there pertaining to database.com. It is used for storage and processing. It supports infrastructure as a service.
So it sounds like similar to Android application, right? Android OS.
Similar to Android applications. But the thing is, Android applications are developed in a local machine and the applications are posted on the cloud. So that is something called as software as a service. But here the development also takes place in cloud. The apps are also available on cloud.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that's the basic difference.
This is a PaaS, that is a SaaS.
SaaS. So Android apps or Samsung apps, Nokia apps, these are all software as a service. They are giving us all the apps, we can use the apps. And that's a purchase point for us, that's a marketplace for us. Something similar to appexchange.com.
Right.
But
So
all the apps which are available in Samsung apps, Nokia apps are not developed on the PaaS of Samsung. They are developed in the local environments of all those development companies, or could be some other clouds also, and they are posted into these clouds, into those marketplaces. So we can also put these apps into other marketplaces, which is something called Heroku. So that's a different area altogether. Fine. So is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shanmugh and Madhav, like, am I clear? Like, is it
yeah, clear.
Yeah, we are good. We are good.
fine? Thank you. So I mean, this is all our course is going to constitute of. So we would be working on the PaaS of Salesforce. We would learn how to build business applications. We would learn how to build a CRM, how to understand the CRM, and we would learn how to work with integrations. So this course deals with these three areas. So we never say it's just a CRM. I mean, this is what it is actually completely going to offer. So our course covers all these things. On a normal basis, like it might go up till 50 to 60 days on a regular of 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes per day. Or we can put it like 50 to 55 sessions in order to complete the entire part, wherein we'll be starting from scratch, the basic registrations, how to go ahead, how to build apps, and to complete the entire content of it.
So what is actually the plan? Is it like every day or is it 5 days a week? What is the plan?
Generally it is 5 days a week. Generally it's Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sundays I'm occupied with other activities.
And what are the time slides? I mean, time frame available
Yeah,
for
timings
your
because
your available time.
Morning 6:30 to 10:30, 11 I do have classroom sessions.
Okay.
Evening again 6 to 9 I have classroom sessions. Daytime, I mean, I do have my own development company here itself in SR Nagar, Sambodhi Tech Solutions. I'm available there, but I mean the team takes care of the entire work, so I can take a session from there as well. Nights after 9 up till 11:30, 12 o'clock I'm comfortable. I mean, end point is 12 o'clock. Anywhere before that we can have a session of 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Night 9 you are comfortable?
I'm comfortable. 9, 9:30 because 9 o'clock we close the institute. I mean the class is done.
Oh,
By the
9
time
is
we
9
finish,
in
I'm
Indian
going
time.
to 15 minutes.
Shanmugam, 9
Oh,
in
okay,
I'm
okay.
speaking of
Oh,
Indian
okay, okay. I confused. Yeah.
So I think sounds like this time would be perfect for you, right? 6:30 our time morning.
Yeah, I mean this is somewhere like 4:30 for me here, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
4:30 should be ideal for us.
6:30 would be for you 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. IST.
5 to 6, 6:15.
Exactly. So
That should do, right? So
our night, daytime we are completely off. It looks like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think then we will go. Shanmuga will go for this time 6:30.
Yeah.
It is okay, right?
Hey, it's okay because evening also we'll be tired. We can't concentrate complete 1 hour. But this
Yeah,
time,
and once we are to the office, I mean, the out time cannot be fixed there.
mm,
At least you guys will have a time in the evening to practice.
yeah, even we have our time in office. Don't worry on that. And Harish, I mean, I am not from computer background. I mean, I know only mainframes. I am.
That means you are very lucky.
So,
There are no overheads to be eliminated. Direct paper use, that's it. Learn and start applying it. Nothing to get confused, nothing to correlate.
yeah, I mean, because it comes in hoops concepts and also I'm not.
I mean, programming, we would be starting from basics, like what is a programming language.
Okay.
We would be starting from that aspect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even people coming from development background also, I do recommend to start from that point because I want to communicate it clearly. Every word should have the same meaning at your end and my end.
Okay.
So that it should be very clear while we are communicating. So, and it is better that people come from a non-programming background.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the fees and I mean, how can we pay it
It's like
in
20,000.
installment?
I've conveyed to Vikas earlier as well.
Okay. And I mean, is it okay to pay in installments so that I mean?
Why not?
Okay.
But make sure you pay, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if not 2,000, 20,000 rupees, convert it to dollars and no issue.
Hey.
I mean, $20,000 will be too much, sir.
Fine, so, I mean, that's fine with it. We have 20,000 rupees here on it.
Yeah.
Should be fine, right, Shanmuga? Because even if it get extended, right, we'll have some buffer.
Yeah.
Start right 6 to 7:30. That is, Harish, for you it will be 4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan. It's 4:30. You will have 6 to 7:30 in your hands.
Yeah, 6 to 7:30, 7:30 to 9, I do have two sessions. 6:15, I can start off the sessions there.
So because today
It was late, but tomorrow onwards,
No issues.
your time 4:30,
Yeah.
it will be sharp, Harish.
yeah.
Fine, 4:30 we shall.
4:30 we'll start and we'll finish off by 5:36. Max.
Yeah.
So can you give your background exactly like you entered into Salesforce quickly, like maybe in a couple of minutes?
Salesforce, like I'm into training and development of Salesforce since 2011 February.
Then before
Yeah,
that, are
and
you?
earlier to that, I was into embedded systems. I was into TIPCO integrations, BW, iProcess, BPM. Prior to that, I worked on. I was with SAP BI, Java programmer, C++ programmer, C.
You are into all hard technologies.
Yeah. So I'm into training since 1999.
Looks like by looking at your like your technical profile, I think you're right candidate to come to United States.
And this one, is it possible to we get the course content? I mean, how we are going daily classes, how we agenda of the courses, daily classes.
Yeah.
So
Shall
that
I
it
mail
will-
that? I'll email you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
You
Yeah.
have it in the office
Just,
actually.
you just guys share your email IDs in the bottom there, so that Harish will send the details of content and everyday classes notes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't create the new ID, but I will be sending my personal ID. So
Yeah,
that
now you can, for the time being, you can send your personal ID, then you can.
Yeah. I ping that in chat.
Yes.
Can you see my email ID in chat?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Shanmugh@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'm typing mine also.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah.
You email it. Harish, can you please type your email?
I've got it. Because I do have.
Yes. Harish, can you ping your email ID as well for them both?
And, we do, I mean, support, I mean, once we get into the project, we might need your support for some months. Or,
At Somebody, this is what we do. I mean, we do support guys and
But it's paid, man.
yeah, that's what I mean.
entire cloud computing is paperless.
People use. You learn it, and if you want support again, it's paid. And I want to make yourself clear only because that you don't have any assumptions saying like I'm getting support as well in this package. You understand, right? How it works.
Yeah. It's everywhere, not
I'm also a testnet.
You can get that phone number, that would be great.
You will be sharing this recorded video, right?
Yeah, I'm sharing. I'll be sharing in the evening because I
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
by editing it. Yeah, no problem.
That's my contact number.
Are you guys got it?
Yes.
Then,
Yeah, fine. Tomorrow 4:30.
Yeah, tomorrow sharp 4:30 I will start the session.
And before that, if you kindly share the course content, it will be
Sure. I'll email it in the morning.
okay.
Thank you.
Because
Yes.
we also have the session in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, and one more thing. I was waiting for a request because I'm going for giving a test for driving test. I might not be able to, so it will be.
So as it is,
Yeah, and tomorrow we'll continue in the afternoon.
yeah, we'll come to you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Take care.